Hello guys, welcome to Net Experts. My name is Siddhanshu Kapoor. Today I am going to start the 8th lecture of Microsoft Windows Server 2019 series. In the previous lecture, we learned about introduction of Active Directory in Server 2019. In this lecture, we are going to learn about how to install Domain Controller in Server 2019. Let's start the lecture guys. Types of domain controllers in we have types of domain controllers, you can say that. It starts with number one, you can call it PDC or you can call RDC. You can call parent domain controller, parent domain controller, or you can call it root domain controller. Okay, we have number one domain controller is PDC. Number second, we need to go for CDC. CDC means child domain controller. Next, we need to understand our ADC. ADC is known as additional domain controller, or we can call backup domain controller also. Fourth one, we have RODC. Okay, one is read only domain controller, and the last one we have pre-DC. We'll go for pre-DC like this. Okay, so we have 5 types of domain controllers in our AD environment. Okay, now we talk about that why we need 5 types of domain controllers. Number one, okay, why we need like if I need to manage my Delhi network or Bangalore network, so what I need to do, I need only one domain controller. With the help of one domain controller we can manage all the network. So why we need these five types of domain controller is that. So first we need to understand is what is PDC. Okay, we'll start with the PDC, or you can call it RDC. So we go for what is PDC. Now PDC is what? It's a primary domain controller. It is a first domain controller in the forest, in the whole forest, you can say that. First domain controller in the whole forest. Like imagine that I can plan to open a company. Okay, so in that company, the first domain controller which I make, that domain controller is known as parent domain controller, or you can call it known as root domain controller. Okay, now the concept is that why we need CDCs, ADCs, RDCs and other domain controllers in the network. So like imagine that we have one network over there, like imagine, or I can take a new paint. Just wait. Now see, this is my one network over there. This is my one network, and I have another network also there is running. We have two domain networks is running. So this is, you can see that this is my Delhi network. This is the Delhi domain network. Okay, I'm using over there. You can call it. I'm using over there abc.com. Okay, we always use domain controllers with .com. Remember this thing. So .com is a top level domain controllers. Okay, so we'll discuss all these things also. Why we can use .com, .us, .uk. Okay, so when you can going for create a domain controller, you need to use this extension .com, .org, edu, local, anything you can go for that. Okay, so we have a abc.com, or you can say we have a abc local. This is my local domain network. Local means it's a private network, as you can say that. I'm using this domain network in private. Wait a minute. Yes. So now we talk about abc.local. Okay, in Delhi. So I'm creating one domain network. Domain network 1 we have, and this domain network 1 known as abc.local. Now we have another domain network also. It's in, you can say that, Bangalore location. Domain network 2, and it's in Bangalore location, as you can see that. I write over there. This is the Bangalore location. Bangalore location. Okay, so these two locations are interconnected with each other with the help of WAN link. This is the WAN link we have. This is the WAN link we have. Okay. Now we have only one DC. I have one DC over there, so I can make one DC, and my domain name is abc.local. Okay, in my Delhi location, there is no DC in the in this Bangalore location. Okay, what I do, I can use I can connect this network to Delhi location. All the clients are connected with Delhi DC. There is no Bangalore DC is there. We have only one DC. That DC is known as PDC now. This is my PDC. As you can see that this is my PDC, and I have only one PDC, and I can manage both the locations with the help of one PDC. Now what happens in that case? Like imagine if my PDC is down, if this PDC is down. So what happens in that case? It's impacted to both the locations. Means my this location clients are also not able to access this domain controller, and my Delhi domain Delhi net clients also not able to access this domain controller or this domain network. So what happens in that case? My complete structure is down. You can say that. That's why we not use only one domain controller to all the sites. What Microsoft recommended you can place different domain controllers in different sites. Fine. So what I plan for that now? I plan that I can make one CDC over there. CDC is known as child domain controller. Child domain controller. Child domain controller. Okay. So this is what we have. Child domain controller. Okay. Okay, so what I trying to say that we can place one domain, we can place one child domain controller over there in my domain in my Bangalore location. Now what happens in that case now? Now if there is impact, like imagine that now if I'm using CDC over there, so the PDC database is different over there and CDC database is different over there. Okay. Fine. So over there the database is different. There is a different database, a separate database over there is running in PDC, and in child DC also there is a separate database is running. So in that case we can use CDC as well. But the condition is if my PDC is down, okay, still my CDC is not working because CDC is work with the dependence of PDC. CDC is a dependence of PDC. If my PDC is not there, my CDC is also not working. Still the condition is same. Okay, so where we can mostly use CDC if I need a different database between the two domain networks, and that condition we can use CDC over there. Okay, so instead of CDC we can use over there ADC. Okay, instead of CDC we can use ADC over there. So ADC is a backup of your CDC. It's a complete backup of your PDC. It's take the backup. So whatever you can create over there, whatever you can do in PDC in this network, it saves everything also in this network as well. Okay. Now one thing also you need to understand is that ADC has that much powerful. Like if my PDC is down, imagine if my PDC is down. Okay. So I make this ADC as PDC. I make my ADC as PDC also. ADC has that much authority to to work as a PDC as well. But CDC is the child domain controller. It's a part of parent domain controller. You can say that it works under parent domain controller. So that's why child domain controller, with the help of child domain controller, I'm not able to manage parent domain controllers. But yeah, with the help of parent domain controllers, we can able to manage child domain controllers. But child domain controller doesn't have that much authority to becoming a parent domain controller. For that, we need ADC. If my PDC is down, if I have ADC in my network, so we can make my ADC as a parent domain controller. Understood? Like this, we can go for that. Okay. Now next we have need to understand two things also. We understand now PDC, we understand CDC, we understand ADC. Now in ADC and PDC, they maintaining the same copy of database. There is no different database. If you want that, if you want to separate the database, if you want to locate DC data, my Delhi domain network database is different, and I need Bangalore location database is different. So we can use in that case CDC. Okay. Now fourth one we have tree DC. Tree DC is what? If you want to create a separate tree, like right now I'm using right now I'm using the India tree. Okay, like I already told you previously also that if my company grows, now I'm using now I have branches in US, so I make one US domain over there. So we can use TDC in that case. That domain is known as TDC. Okay, fine. So if I need to create a separate tree, then we can use TDCs. Simple. The last one we have RODC, which I already discussed with you the last section. RODC is for two things: authentication and password updates. Okay, so if in any, like, imagine that in your company or you have any network there where we don't have any IT guys, so in that case we can use RODC over there. So users automatically authenticate with the help of RODC. Our users password is automatically updated with the help of RODC, like this. Understood? So let's start the practical, guys. First we're going to implement PDC. How we can create PDC? First, we remember always that first we need to create PDC. After that we can create other DCs. If I don't have PDC, I'm not able to create other DCs. Okay, so first is we need to create a PDC. So let's start the practical, guys, now. So we have, okay, this is my server 2019. I just power on this machine. As you can see that it's going to start the server machine. It's a new fresh machine. I just installed server 2019 in this machine only. That's it. Okay, so as you can see that my server is started now. I just log in. I'm going to log in with this. So okay, it's already becoming a domain. I need to take another machine. Just wait, guys. Okay, so I use another machine. In previous machine, it's already becoming a domain controller. I already created the domain controller in that particular machine. So I hope I need to check this. If it's a fresh machine, so we'll make this machine as a parent domain controller. Let's try to log in. And one thing I also tell you guys, but once you start working on servers, have patience because servers are slow. It takes time to log in, it takes time to start or restart. So you need to wait. Okay, this is the fresh machine, so I need to give the password. Okay, so this is my server 2019 data center edition. I already installed server edition only in this machine. So now what I need to do, first I need to configure the IP address. Okay, before I start the practical, I tell you one thing also, that we need to know the requirements of AD also. What are the requirements to install Active Directory in servers? So you can say that requirements of Active Directory. So install requirements of AD is number one, IP address should be configured. Okay. Number second, we need free space. We need 200 MB free space, 250 MB, sorry, 250 MB free space in C drive. C drive or where your operating system drive is, it is. Number third, out of 50, out of 250, 200 MB for AD services, for run AD services, as you can say that, for run AD services, and another 50 MB is for log files. Number third, LAN card should be up and connected physically. Means your LAN card should be up, means there is no red cross error, or it's you can say that your LAN card should not be disabled. Okay, and your LAN card should be connected also. Like if you're using the virtual domain controllers, so in virtual domain controllers you need to create the virtual switches and all those stuffs. Okay, and if you are going for physical servers, so your server should be connected with the network. Okay, so like you can go for these are the three basic requirements of AD. Okay, so if I go to my my server over there, this is the server. So if I try to open it my C drive, I just click on this File Explorer. I open my File Explorer and go for the C drive. So as you can see that I have 49.8 GB free. So my first requirement is fulfilled. I need how much? I need 250 MB. 250 MB, 250 MB. Okay. So, but we have how many? We have 49 GB. So it's okay. Now I need to configure the IP address also. Okay. So we need static IP addresses. Okay, for this. So I open my LAN connection. The command is ncpa.cpl. Open run and write down the command ncpa.cpl to open LAN connection, LAN settings. This is the LAN connection. Now I go to right click and go to properties over there. And in that we are using IP4. I'm not using IPv6, so I uncheck the IPv6. I'm using IPv4 properties. This is my private network, so I give any IP address over there. So I'm using over there 10. You can go for 10.1.1.1. Okay. And the default gateway is not there because I don't have any routers right now. I need to give the preferred DNS server as well, because this server is becoming a DNS server as well. I already told you in the last lecture that we need two services, ADDS and DNS. Okay, so this server is becoming a DNS server as well. So I need to define the same IP address, 10.1.1.1. Okay, the same IP address of this server. Click on OK, click on close. Okay, let's check once. I open CMD and go for IP config. As you can see that it taking the IP address 10.1.1.1. If I go for IP config all, so it shows me the DNS address as well. See, this is my IP address and this is my subnet mask and this is the DNS server's address also. Okay, now click on exit. Now the second requirement is also there. It's fulfilled, and I connect this this machine also with the virtual network. Okay, I have one virtual network. Okay, so it's connected. As you can see that if I go to properties settings over there in this machine, we have host only. I'm using the host only. Okay, or you can use the custom also. We have these so many VNets are there. So we can use VNet 1 as well also. VMnet 1 host only. I can use this also. Okay, now click on OK for that. Okay, fine. Now I need to go to. Now just wait for CMD. I go for IP config once again. I'll just check once. Okay, let's go for 10.1.1.1. Okay, now I'm going to install AD and DNS services first. So how we can go for that? Go to start. Over there we have the option server manager. Just click on server manager. We can do this. We can do these things with help of Windows Admin Center also. I already told you that we have Windows Admin Center option also is there. Okay, we need to first download the software. We can install the software as well. Okay, so I'll showing you these things, how we can install Windows Admin Center. Okay, in my upcoming lectures as well. Okay, so I don't want to do this right now. Just click on OK. I'm using the server manager now, my offline tool, server manager. With the help of this server manager, I'm going to install AD services and DNS services as well. Okay. So as you can see that the blue line is running over there. It means it's refreshing the dashboard. So just wait for complete the refreshing. Now it's okay. Now click on add roles and features. Click on this. Okay. Now that gives me the wizard, add role and feature wizard. Before you begin, you can go for start removes and remove roles and features. Right now I'm going to install. If I need to remove that, I just click on this over there for removing the roles and features. Now I'm going to install, so I just click on add roles and features. Click on next now. Now we can go for role based or feature based installation. So I want to install my role and features. AD is a role, it's a services. You can say that. Okay. Now if you're working on VDI, virtual desktop infrastructure, so we can use this second option. Right now this is my VM. It's not my VDI, it's a virtual machine, so I use role based, access based features. Now just click on next. This is my server name and this is the IP address of my server, and we can using the data center evaluation period. Okay, so I just change the server name because the server name is too big, so I'm not able to manage this. So I go for local server first. I'm going to first change the, and I need to disable the firewall as well. Okay, why I'm disabling the firewall? Because sometimes it takes the issues on the network. Okay, so we can disable the firewall as well. I just click on off, simple, go back, I off. Okay, so it's totally off. Now close it now. Now I go for computer name. Just click on the computer name. Now I'm going to change the computer name now. Click on change. You have the computer name option is there. It is my server 1. So I go for server 1. Okay. Now click on OK. So my computer name is server-01. Okay. And you must restart the computer for before this. So I click on OK. Click on close. I need to restart it once. So click on restart now. So now my computer is going to restart. Okay, it takes effects. Once it's restart, the computer name is changed, then we'll start the installation of domain controller. So as you can see that my server is started now. I just log in my server. I need to give the password. So as you can see that my server is login. Okay, so now I'm going to start. I'm going to again open server manager. Click on server manager. Okay, so it's refreshed the server manager tool. So if I click on local server, so as you can see that now my server name is server 1 and my firewall is off. It automatically shows that off. So you can see it's again on. Just go for off first. Yeah, it's private one is off. I need to go for off also. Okay, so now it's completely off now. This okay. So I just click on refresh again. So it's showing me it's off. Okay, let's say again on again. Okay, public is also there. I need to off it. And that's it. Yes. Now close and refresh again. Now they're showing it's off, and my IP address is 10.1.1.1. Okay. Now click on dashboard. Click on add roles and features. Now I'm going to install AD and DNS services. Okay, so this is my server name. One is server 1. My server name is server 1, and the IP address is 10.1.1.1. Now I can use this services. We have so many. We have 5 services according to AD. If I talk about AD, so AD provides you 5 services. We have 5 AD services, as you can see that. So we can use this one, Active Directory Domain Services. For this, what we need these tools also. So it's automatically install the tools as well. Okay. Now go for DNS. And they automatically install the DNS tools as well. With the help of DNS tools, I am able to manage DNS services with the help of AD tool, I'm able to manage AD services. Okay. Now click on add features, click on next. We need, you can say that it's already installed 4.7, 4.7 .NET framework. Okay. So we need .NET framework also for AD services. Okay. So in servers, it's automatically installed. By default installed. When you install server operating systems, it's automatically installed. In Server 2019, we can use 4.7 .NET framework. In 16, we can use 4.5. In 12, we can use 4. I think 4.0 something. And in 8, we can use 3.5.1. So every server, we need .NET framework. If you want to install AD services, we need .NET framework. Okay. So it's automatically installed .NET framework 4.7. Okay. Click on next. Now that gives you the overview what is Active Directory. I already told you. Now that gives you the DNS option also. So DNS is used to, you can say that, resolve name to IP and IP to name. Okay, it is used to resolve name to IP and IP to name. Okay, so we'll discuss about DNS also in upcoming lectures, not to worry. Click on next. Okay, I just check this option, restart the destination server automatically if required. So it's automatically restart if required. Click on yes and click on install. So now I'm going to install Active Directory domain services. As you can see that Active Directory domain services and DNS services both, and this. So it started, installation is started on servers -01. Okay. It takes time, guys. Have patience. Okay. Server is slow. Servers are slow, so we need to have patience to work on servers. So as you can see that the services are successfully installed. As you can see that now they ask me to promote this server to a domain controller. Okay. Now before I use this option, I'll showing you one thing also. But if I minimize this and I go to start, go to administrative tools over there, you can see that we have 6 components which is automatically installed: Active Directory, Administrative Center, Domain and Trust, Module for PowerShell, Site and Services, User and Computers, and ADSI added. So these 6 components are automatically installed once you install Active Directory services in the servers. And as you can see that DNS component is also installed. With the help of this component, we will be able to manage DNS servers as well. Okay, fine. So once you install AD services, these 6 components are automatically installed. So with the help of Admin Center and User and Computers, we are able to manage AD objects like user accounts, computer accounts. If I want to create user account, if I want to delete user account, so we can go for AD users and computers, or we can go for Admin Center. If I want to manage trust relationship, we can go for Domain and Trust. If I want to manage my sites, the physical locations, we can go for Site and Services. If I want to manage AD with the help of PowerShell, we can use this tool, Active Directory module for Windows PowerShell. So Windows PowerShell is what? It's a kind of CLI tool. It's a scripting or automation tool through which you can manage AD as well. For that, we need commands. We need to know the PowerShell first. And then with the help of ADSI edit, we can manage AD partitions and AD schema. Okay, so I'll cover these topics also, what is AD partitions and what is AD roles, in my upcoming lectures. Okay, now with the help of this DNS console, we can able to manage the DNS as well. Understood? Fine. So now first I need to make, now you can see that if I open my server manager again and I go to the local server, so as you can see that still my server works in workgroup. I just install AD only. I'm not still configured any AD right now. So I need to configure it also. So as you can see that you have the option, notification option is there. Just click on this. We have the option promote this server to a domain controller. We need to choose this. So now what we can do, we are going to go for Active Directory Domain Services Configuration Wizard. Now I'm going to configure my AD. Previously, I just installed the AD services. Now I'm going to configure the AD services. So for PDC, we need to choose this, add a new forest. This is my new company. I'm going to start a new company, a new setup. So in that case, we need to first create a forest. So this is my first domain controller in the forest. So that domain controller is automatically becoming a root domain controller or parent domain name. So I need to define the name over there. So I define over there, imagine I go for abc.local. That's it. Okay, so this is what my root domain name is, or you can write your company name also like this, uh, networkers home.local, like this. Okay, so this I make this domain in my private network. Okay, so you can, that's why you can go for local. If you want to launch this domain in a publicly, so what you can go for .com, .org, .edu, whatever domain you want to choose, you can go for that. Okay, fine. Now click on next. After that, or other two options are for other DCs. I already told you we have 5 types of DCs in my domain network. Okay, so if I create ADC, PDC, CDCs, pre-DCs, or DC, so we can use other options for this. Okay, for PDC we can use first option as third option, add a new forest. Okay, now they ask me the function levels and the forest function level, domain function levels. So function level means like if I define server 2016 over there in forest function level, what happens in that case? It means I am only able to use 2016 server. That's it. Okay, fine. Just a minute, guys. Okay, so in forest function level means if I'm sorry, just wait. Okay, so if I am using the forest function level, it means if I choose server 2016 over there, so in my complete, in my forest or in my domain, you can say that, or in my company, I'm not able to use 2012 servers. I'm able to use only 16 and 19 servers. That's it. If I choose over there 2012, so it means I'm able to use 2012 servers, 16 servers, and 19 servers as well. If I'm choose over there 2008, so it means I'm able to use 2008 servers, 12 servers, 16 servers, and 19 servers, like this. Okay, so as per the requirement, you can use these kind of things. So I'm going for over there 2012 onwards. So if I have any 2012 servers in my network, so I'm able to use 2012 servers also, 16 servers also, and 19 servers also. In domain function level also, I can use 2012 in that case. Okay. Now as you can see that DNS services and global catalog are automatically checked. Okay. So okay, now need to give the DSRM password. Okay. So DSRM password means this is the directory services restore mode password. If your AD is corrupted, or you have a backup, you already take the backup of AD or your AD, so you can use this password to restore the AD. Like imagine if my AD is corrupted, so I have one mode is known as DSRM mode. Okay, I need to go to that mode and I can restore my AD. So when I restore my AD, I need to mention this password over there, which I'm mentioning over there. Okay, so you can give any password over there. Okay, but the password should be complex. Okay, fine. Now password complex means alphabetical plus numerical plus special characters, all combined together. Okay, so you need at least to give 7 character passwords and over there. Okay, this is for directory services restore mode password. With the help of this password, I'm able to restore my AD if my AD is corrupted. Now click on next. Now they ask me for DNS delegation, so we read these things in my upcoming lectures. Not to worry, just simple click on next again. Now, as you can see that the NetBIOS domain name is networkers home. So this is my NetBIOS name is NetBIOS. NetBIOS is a protocol. It works on pre-Windows. Pre-Windows means the earlier Windows. Right now we are using TCP protocol or DNS protocols to resolving the names. But if you talk about the previous Windows like 2000, 2003 servers, over there we're using NetBIOS protocols to resolving the name. Okay, so over there that time they used NetBIOS. So NetBIOS, it's taking automatically my domain name. Okay, NetBIOS not works with .com, .edu, .org, .local. It simple takes a single level domain name. Okay, it takes the domain name only. Click on next. Now in that they give me three folders. database folder, log file folders, and sysvol folders. So database folder is known as NTDS folder, where the databases exist. Okay, the log file folder also exists in NTDS folder. So and the sysvol folder contains the group policies. Like if I'm getting any group policies in my AD, so sysvol folder is automatically contain that group policies. So it means that we have two folders which is automatically created. One is NTDS and one is sysvol. In NTDS contains AD database and sysvol contains group policies. Okay. Now click on next again. Now they give me the summary. Whatever configurations I can do, I did. So these are the summary which we did till now. Now click on next. So they checks the prerequisites over there. Now prerequisite means the requirements. What are the requirements or compatibility? Whether this server is compatible to make domain controller or not. So it checks all the prerequisites, all the requirements, all the compatibility. If everything is fine, it's highlighted me the install option over there. Okay. So as you can see that all the prerequisites check passed successfully. It means everything is fine now. Now I need to go to click on install option over there. So now it's going to install a domain network in my network, and this server is becoming a domain controller. Okay, so like this. Now after it, let's complete this. Once it restarts, after completing this this process, it restarts automatically. The server restarts automatically, and after that we can see how we can check whether my domain controller is properly installed or not. I'll showing you 2-3 options how to check. Okay, after completing this, let's wait for this. So as you can see that the domain controller is successfully installed. Now it's going to restart the server. Okay, the computer is being restarted because Active Directory domain services was installed or removed. So this server now becoming a domain controller. So it's restart automatically. Once it's restarted, so you can say that it's restarting automatically now. Okay, once it's restarted comes again, I'll showing you how we can rectify that, how we can rectify whether my domain controller is properly installed or not. Okay, so as you can see that my server is restarted now. Now number one thing is that how we can check whether whether this server is becoming a domain controller. So once I going to log in, so they're showing me my domain name. As you can see that networkers home/administrator. So my domain name is networkers home. So they're showing me my domain name. So this represents that I successfully create the domain controller in this server. So I log in with the domain controller admin, you can say that. Okay. Now what happens in that case? Previously this server works on work group. So we have work groups administrator. Now we log in with the domain administrator. So what happens once I make this server as a domain controller? So this domain, you can say that domain work group administrator is replaced by domain controller administrator now. Now I'm working only domain administrator as domain network. I'm working with the user domain administrator only. Right now there is no local administrator is there. Okay, because domain administrator replace work group administrator, as you can see that. Okay, so now if I open my file explorer over there also, I'll showing you that we have, if I go to properties over there, my this PC properties. So as you can see that we have a domain. Previously it shows work group. Now they're showing me domain networkers home.local. Okay, if I go there also, I open start server manager. Now I go to local server, and as you can see that they're showing me over there also domain, and the domain name is networkers home.local. Okay, fine. So like this is the way how we can create domain controller in our network. So now this network is known as you can say that domain network, and my domain network name is networkers home.local, and this server is becoming a domain controller because it contains AD database. I'll showing you once also. See, if I open my file explorer, and I go to my C drive. In that we have in Windows, you can go for NTDS. This is the folder. Okay, in that we have ntds.dit. This is the database file name. I already told you this is the database file name in the previous lecture. Okay, and you can go for in Windows. We have one folder also known as sysvol. Here it is, sysvol. In sysvol folder, it contains group policies. Understood? So these folders are automatically created as well. Okay, fine. So this is what we have, domain controller. So this is how we can install domain controller in Server 2019. I hope you're able to understand this lecture. Okay, thank you for watching, guys.